Hi, my name is Jocelyn, and I'm recording this video about benzodiazepine withdrawal, hopefully to give you some hope and some information. This is my second time going through this because my computer messed it up the first time, which is really difficult because this is really hard to go through. But I was put on Ativan 4 years ago when, after my daughter had been put in the hospital with meningitis. I was nursing her, and I was there with her in the hospital for 2 weeks. I wasn't sleeping. Ironically, then my son went into the hospital right after that, so I wasn't sleeping again, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know it was safe to take. I was very much into nutrition and herbs and natural health. I never took any medications if I could possibly avoid it, painkillers, antibiotics, anything, but I didn't know what was really safe to take while nursing my baby to help me through that period of time. So I went into the doctor and I got put on Ambien at first. Ambien is not a benzo, it's a Zdrug, but they are very similar. They work very similarly on your Gabbard receptors. And I didn't know that you weren't supposed to cold turkey these things. So I cold turkey off the Ambien, and I spiraled into just complete insanity, not just mentally, but physically. There were so many things wrong with me. And the doctors kept trying to tell me that I had postpartum, but my daughter was already 5 or 6 months old, and I knew I didn't have postpartum. I knew what depression was. I actually lost my first child when I was 25 years old. I'm 37 now, and I know what depression is, and this was not depression. There was something very terribly physically wrong with me. I had MRIs, CAT scans, EKGs, the whole works. And when I couldn't find anything physically wrong with me on paper, I thought, okay, well, yeah, I must be crazy. They must be right. So they put me on an antidepressant and Ativan. Well, Ativan is like a stronger version of Ambien, and that put a halt to my Ambien withdrawals. So I felt better, except for the antidepressant, which I didn't need and gave me horrible, horrible side effects. But my doctor kept telling me, don't get off the Ativan until you get off the antidepressant. So I kept trying to cut it by 1/4 milligram, as he instructed me to. And each time I would do that, I would just feel so horrible. I thought, I can't mother like this. So I would get back on. I thought it was just lack of sleep. Now I realize I was experiencing withdrawal symptoms. So I went on like that for 3.5 years until I became pregnant accidentally, because I wouldn't have done that knowing that I was on this medication. And at that point, what happened is something that happens to many people who are on these, which is I had to get off all of a sudden. My doctor said, you need to get off of this. It's dangerous for the baby. I knew I couldn't cut it by 1/4 milligram a week, like he told me to, because I tried that. So I was trying for 1/8 milligram a week. And I did that probably for about a month and a half. And each week that I would cut, I would descend into a deeper and deeper level of Dante's levels of hell, just pain, mental torture, physical agony, excuse me. I wanted to die. Like I said, I've lost a child. I know what pain and suffering is, and I can tell you without a doubt, this is the most horrifying thing I have ever experienced in my life. This did not end. It just got worse and worse and worse. And finally, after I found out that I was miscarrying, and by the way, I know now from interacting with many people, if you are pregnant and on a benzodiazepine, you are far more likely to have a successful pregnancy if you do a slow, careful taper. I don't know of anybody who did a quick taper and was able to carry their baby. The body can only handle so much. And so by that point, my husband had gotten online because I mentally wasn't capable of reading or watching TV or getting on the computer. And we learned about the Ashton method. He got on Benzo Buddies, and the complexion was clear, but you can kind of see the markings. I have scarring from boils on my face from this. And of course, the miscarriage. So after I got on the Valium, got more educated, I started a slow taper, which helped me to slowly improve. I remember the day when I finally was able to get up, grab a pair of nail clippers, to think to do that, because you're just so brain damaged. It's things just, you don't register things. And I was able to get the nail clippers, go downstairs, and clip my daughter's fingernails. That was a big accomplishment for me. That was a milestone. I wasn't able to read bedtime stories to my children. I remember when I was first able to start reading to my children again. It's pretty horrific. It strips you of your humanity, of who you are. I never had anxiety before this. I didn't know what a panic attack was. I started getting panic attacks. I developed agoraphobia. I was a teacher. I graduated summa cum laude from BYU with a degree in English and also elementary education and music. So my thing was getting up in front of people and talking and performing. And here I couldn't even go out in public. I couldn't have face-to-face conversations with people. I couldn't even talk to my own children or my husband. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't eat, couldn't keep food down. I developed twitches. Just anything that you can imagine that it would affect, it has affected. My job and my desire here isn't to frighten people, but it is to educate, because I have yet to find one single doctor who understands that benzodiazepines are capable of doing this and how to help someone safely taper off of a benzodiazepine. So I'm going to post some links below this video here to some research, not just Ashton, but other research that has also been done, and also on how to safely get off them. There are really good videos on YouTube about liquid titration, which is what I'm doing. It's the easiest way to do it, especially if your doctor isn't willing to work with you on a Valium taper. If you have to stay on a short-acting benzo, it's really easy to just break up that dose so that you're taking it at even times throughout the day, and so you're not experiencing those huge drops and those horrible interdose withdrawal symptoms. I'm actually currently an assistant in a benzodiazepine withdrawal support group. There are many of them out there, and there are thousands of people on these groups. Benzo Buddies has over 18,000 members. My group has over 1,500 members. The other group that I was a part of also has over 1,500, and there are others out there, and we have waiting lists of people to get into these groups, because that's how bad this problem is, and we are the lucky ones. We're the ones who realized that the benzodiazepine is our problem, and we didn't buy into the doctors telling us that we were bipolar or that we were psychotic or had Lyme's, or just a multitude of other misdiagnoses, because they have no idea what these drugs can do. There was an article in JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association, that discussed how doctors need to stop prescribing these long-term, because they're going to start being sued and being involved in lawsuits. And I wrote a response that was published on there with citations about how the experts say to do a slow taper. And that doctor was right. I'm a member of a benzodiazepine class action lawsuit that is starting up. And I think it's going to be the first of its kind. There has been no accountability for this. I'm sure that there have been many, many malpractice suits out there that have been settled, but there's never been any accountability for the pharmaceutical industry. And I simply refuse to believe that after decades and decades of people going through this, that they don't know that this can happen to people. Yeah, that just defies logic. So I will post the link to that as well. But I just want you to know that a year later, it's been spring break for my kids. We went swimming one day. We went to the museum another day, went to a trampoline park. And I'm only able to go for a couple hours, and then I have to take a break. But I'm able to cook dinner, do laundry, go to the store most of the time, not always, but usually I'm able to accomplish the basics in life. I'm very hopeful that by this time next year I'll be even better, that I will have the full function of my brain and my body back, and that I will be able to be a fun mother and a loving wife again. I just want to applaud everybody out there who has been through this or is going through this and has put themselves out there to educate and help people like me. I know it's not easy going in the face of the medical community or all the skeptics. I'm very lucky because I'm surrounded by people who are good, decent people who knew me before this and know that this is not me, who saw me deteriorate in a matter of a month, and it was pretty much undeniable what happened to me. So I've been very lucky to have the support and kindness of people who've stepped in to help me with parenting my children when I couldn't parent them. I still am actually dependent on a lot of people's good graces right now. I have an amazing husband who has been able to support us through this and take care of me. So I know that through these groups, so many people don't have that kind of help. So I know I'm very, very lucky. I hope to be able to post more videos in the future answering any questions that anybody might have. So please feel free to post questions down below and check out the links that I'm going to post for you. And I just wish you all well, and please feel free to share this with anybody that you think might be on this kind of a drug or might consider taking it, because I can tell you it is just absolutely not worth it, and no responsible doctor would ever prescribe a benzodiazepine on a daily basis. And my goal also is to bring in experts who are educated about benzodiazepines to teach continuing education courses for doctors and pharmacists and get people in the US educated about this, so this doesn't keep happening to thousands and thousands of innocent people every day. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this can help in some way.